and we are live, hopefully. Welcome to another incredible stream. I'm streaming here today from British Columbia, Canada. It's myself, Maria. Most of you already know me. Whoever is new here, I am a software developer and I teach artificial intelligence and Python on YouTube. And this is kind of my blog stream. It's more of a catch-up Q&A stream, not a lot of technical stuff, just generally asking how you are, how are you, how I am, just sharing you my information. And you can tell I'm a bit rusty. I haven't done it in a while. So please join me. Please. Oh, Badger is here. What's up, man? Let's see. Here's his comment. And I can show your comments on the screen right now because I'm back to Streamyard, which is a proper streaming software. Unlike the millions of other options I've tried in the past, I ended up going back to the exact same software I've been using from the get-go because it has no competition. Now, if you guys hear me well, please let me know in the comments. Show some life. Let me know if the sound is fine. Let me know if the whole thing is fine. Give me a shout in the comments. And Sandy is here all the way from Australia. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much for the birthday birthday wishes yesterday. I had a birthday, and those of you who follow me on LinkedIn, you probably knew it. Those who follow me on other platforms, you would have no idea because I'm not sharing my birthday. And yeah, thank you so much for all the lovely folks who wished me a happy birthday yesterday, and Sandy was one of them. Badger, wonder how hard it is to make your own streaming software, lol. You know what? I tried it. It's not worth it. And I think the biggest problem is the API. You need to pay them for each and every request. So I think essentially it will end up being just as expensive as using Streamyard. And right now it's a bit cheaper. It used to cost me $75 a month. Now it costs me $65 a month, which is not too bad. And I think the biggest challenge with streaming software is how do you translate, how do you avoid latency, and how do you translate the the moments of poor signal into a proper signal. And I don't know if it's something that a Python developer can figure out. Like, I know that Badger is proficient in many programming languages, so for you it's probably not a problem. But for me, as someone who tried to do it with Python, I do not recommend it, okay? Don't do your own software unless you're really, really, you're really, really good at it. Awesome. Thank you so much for confirming that the video is fine. Thank you for being here, guys. I'm gonna start with a very nice intro. In the meanwhile, please let me know, where are you joining us today? Where are you from? City, country, anywhere. Let me know if it's evening, morning, and anything you need. And yeah, I'm gonna show my beautiful intro that I've uploaded into StreamYard right now, and I will see you in just a little. Okay, and you may have heard the music twice because I have my headphones near my microphone. Sorry, my apologies. But yeah, I see some comments recommending me OBS Studio, which is one of the things I've been using in those streams that failed. So OBS Studio has a very bad latency. Half of the time, you wouldn't even see me properly on the screen. I'd be so pixelated, and it doesn't have this solution that I'm looking for, especially when you're streaming HD, full HD. Awesome. Cool. So we have folks from Texas joining us. Hi, howdy, right? I would love to visit Texas one day and eat some good Texas barbecue, like a giant tomahawk steak. This is my dream. My dreams always relate to food somehow. Okay, hi from East Canada. Hello, Louis. Nice to see you, brother. Uruguay, is it? Wow, Uruguay. I think you're the first person from Uruguay who's joining us. That's awesome. We have S-Man from Germany. Okay, this is evening there. And how, Maria, you're supposed to be in France. What happened? I'm supposed to be in France next month. In June 11th, I'm going to VivaTech. I told you guys before. Oh, we have UV fans. Okay, people who really like UV for some reason. Yeah, we get those a lot. we have Badger. That makes sense. Why the software is paid goes towards the API cost. Yeah, because imagine you need a special API for YouTube and for X and for LinkedIn, and each of them you pay per request. I looked into it. I was about to do something, but then I realized that I'm not going to be saving a lot of money. It's fine if you want a customized interface. Like if you want to have you have your own news broadcasting company and you want to design your own logo underneath, you want to have everything custom, then yeah, it's probably worth it, the first investment. But yeah, I don't have time to do this. If somebody wants to volunteer his time and design the perfect software, I'm in. You know, I don't have time for it. I wish I did. Quantum machine learning, did you try it out? No, not really. I'm only now starting to understand how this whole quantum thing works. And the only thing I understand is that you're dealing with photons, right? Everything is optic fiber. So basically you are transmitting through light rather than what we're usually using, electricity, right? So it makes things very fast. But quantum computing is at the very beginning. It's like how AI used to be in 2012, and it's a whole field of its own. So for me to go and transition to this and this and that, that's a lot of work. It's a profession on its own. I will leave it to people who are strictly at quantum. They should be doing it. 3 a.m. in Melbourne. Holy smoke, Sandy. Thank you for joining us. Okay, I hope you're not falling asleep. Maybe you do. And then you'll dream about this lovely channel, about our conversations about UV and OBS and all these things. Awesome, thank you. I appreciate it. I know it's hard to join these type of streams. What else we have here? I've not had that problem with latency and stream on multiple platforms at once. I have some decent hardware and fiber internet. Could be why. I also have fiber internet. It doesn't really help for some reason. If it works for you, it works for you. I had some issues with it on YouTube and people complained, so I didn't want to just continue the same route. Yeah, so I'm here. Awesome. Maria, can you do a tutorial for AI agent with N88? I have no idea what a N8N is. If I knew, I would. If I get a lot of requests on it, I will film it. But thanks for recommending. Thanks for requesting. Cool. So yeah, I didn't even tell you what the stream is all about. Hold on. Wait, Luis. Hold on. Oh, OBS crashed on my too many times. I've been loving vMix for streaming. I've tried a whole bunch of software. Honestly, I was trying to cut costs and it didn't work. Any software I tried that is cheaper than Streamyard would not give me proper results. Some of them wouldn't even stream. You know, I had my GTC stream not starting, even though it was telling me that it started, everything works fine and everything is great, but it wasn't. Yeah, it's hard to find a reliable company in this field. So yeah, and now that Streamyard is a bit cheaper, I don't mind paying for it. Cool. So yeah, let me tell you what the stream is all about. We're catching up. We're catching up. I'll tell you the projects I'm working on. It's 3 projects simultaneously. I'll also tell you about my migration issues with the website, whatever went up with Wix and all these issues. And yeah, I also wanted to talk about Streamyard, but we've been talking about it all this time, so I don't need a new introduction for it. And yeah, and then any question you have, anything you'd like to ask, please feel free to do so in the comments. I'm here, I'm chatting with you. As you can see, we're already doing it. Great, awesome. I really missed, this type of format. It's been so long since we did it. Okay. What do we have? James C. Hi, Maria. Leaving Wix, moving to Python-based static site generator. Probably not. I was looking into, I think WordPress is probably where I'm going to go, but I'm not sure. If you guys have some experience with platforms similar to Wix, where you don't have to design your website from scratch, please let me know, and I'd love to have a look. For now, I'm thinking WordPress. I just want to do something as less painful as possible. Something that will not take me a lot of time to edit, something that will not take me a lot of time to plug in different services into, for example, a merch store, all kinds of different things. And I want to have a mailing list, and I want to have a list of subscribers to the website. These kind of stuff that WordPress makes much easier. And yeah, I need it ASAP because I'm just waiting for Wix to get my money back, or for visa to get my money back after they'll get it from Wix, because they pulled a stinky on me, like how really, really stinky. I've been with Wix even before my channel existed. I had some other websites that I've built there. I had a watermelon design company. It was a graphic design company, and I really wanted to kind of invest my time in it. And then I discovered that artificial intelligence is not science fiction, it is science. So I ended up, transitioning to a different profession altogether. I ended up learning Python, learning, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and here I am. But the original plan was to have a graphic design website, and I started it with Wix. And I've been supporting them for many, many years. I didn't really need to, because honestly, I have a few sponsors that are, hosting providers. We had Volter Volter doing a whole bunch of stuff with me. We ended up doing one video, but I still have 500 credits on their platform. I ended up working with Hostinger as well. So I could have hosted my website for free. I didn't need to pay Wix. I just didn't want the hustle, and I kind of wanted to support them because I really enjoyed the way they allowed you to build websites. It was very Photoshoppy, and really, really nice way to kind of design your site, convenient. And then every year something is off. Every year something got worse. And until this time, they charged me almost like 3 times what they usually charge me, out of the blue. And they didn't ever even tell me. Usually before you're getting, before they're charging you, you're getting an email, hey, we're about to charge you. And then the funny part is all the marketing emails they're sending me, all the promotions, and it's 50% off and stuff, it all goes into my inbox, but the important stuff about my account and about what they're charging me is going into my spam. So how does that work? And then, okay, you know what? They charged me, it's fine, I caught them. I saw that they charged my credit card, and I'm like, okay, this is wrong. And I emailed them, I told them, cancel it immediately. I'm leaving your platform, I'm out. And they charged me for the next 2 years, okay? They charged me from now until the next 2 years, like 3 times the amount. And I emailed them, like, you have to return my money, you have to cancel this account, because this is not what this is not what I signed up for. And they tell me, no, these plans are not refundable. What? And the funny part is, like, it's not even the plan I purchased from them. I purchased from them a plan that is called Unlimited. And it was one of the older plans. It was like a really old plan. I purchased it like 4 years ago, something like that. And that was the plan I had for a very long time. And suddenly I have okay, it has to do with Wix. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this comment on. I was about to sip some tea and it didn't work. So basically, suddenly they're charging me for a premium plan that I never signed up for. And the reason why they charge me for it is because they phased out the unlimited plan. Now I get it, when you do it, things happen, not everybody agrees, it's a mess up, it's an oopsie. And usually when somebody tells you, like, I never signed up for it, I'm not interested, you're just getting your money back. Not with Wix. No, we send an email to your spam folder 30 days in advance. It means that it's your problem, not ours. Excuse me, you need to ask a person if they want to upgrade their plan to something way more expensive than they had before. You don't notify somebody that you're doing it automatically. Well, you can, but then how applicable is it when I'm calling the bank and I let them know what happened? The bank will get me my money back, obviously. The question is how upset I'll be in the end of the process, right? And I'm very upset. So I'm transferring everything from Wix to some kind of a different platform right now. My brother already saved all my blogs. I didn't have many of them, but they were very important blogs. I saved them. I also saved my mailing list. And then when I actually open a proper platform, I'm gonna send an email to all the subscribers and stuff. I'll let them know that I've transitioned. So that's migrated, sorry. It is what it is. Okay, let's see the latest comments. That was a story about Wix. James C. I would consider Ghost open source website builder before WordPress. I've used it and it's great. I've heard about it. I just don't know how comprehensive it is. Like, how many plugins can you add? Let's have a look. Let's take a look together. Who knows? Okay, I'm on Twitter. I am live. Look at that. There is an icon. I'm going live. Woohoo! Okay, okay, this is great. So, Ghost website builder. Let's have a look. Ghost org. There you go. Okay, so it's a blog and newsletter platform, which is great. That's what I need. I need a blog. And this is the dashboard, which is kind of nice. Okay, it looks good. Fancy website. I'm assuming it was also built with Ghost, and I have all these themes to choose from. You know what? Yeah, I'll have a look. I rather support open source than anything else. Obviously, that's a main consideration. Okay. Okay, this is awesome. Secure payment system, memberships. Okay, well, you know what, James? Thank you for the recommendation. This is awesome. I'll take a look. I forgot all about it. I got a recommendation on it a while back, but I didn't take it seriously until now. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna send it to my brother and I'm gonna ask him if he wants to build me a website because I don't have time for it. And my website is so simple, it's just, it's not gonna take a long time. I originally built it for like 2 hours of my time with Wix. I was drag and drop, copy paste kind of a situation. Cool, thank you. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. I don't see is free. Well, it's open source, it should be free. Probably there's a paid tier or something. I'll have a look. We'll see. Even if it's not free, I'll pay them. I just want to have something that I don't need to worry about. And open source is usually free. If open source is paid, I don't know. People still consider it open source. I don't. Something's wrong with me, probably. Ghost is open source, but they have managed offerings for $5. For money. Cool, I'll check it out. We'll see. Probably if you want if you're expecting your site to be very popular and you need a, more infrastructure and, a bigger hosting machine with faster CPUs, with a GPU attached, probably cost you some money. Compute is not cheap, okay? Hello, Resident Evil. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Big fan of your games and all your movies. Yeah. Big fan of Mila Jovovich or Jovovich, whatever they call her. I don't know. Mila, her name. Okay, let's see what else we have here. How have you worked a bit in game development, and what's your opinion on Python being part of gaming? I don't know if Python is the best language for gaming. I'm not sure. If you're doing gaming stuff, I'd probably try C# or or a C-based language, Unreal Engine. What was it? Unity as well. I have some experience with Unity, but yeah, you want to be able to design things with 3D. I know that right now Python is getting into the gaming with AI kind of a world, agentic gaming world. I don't know how you want to call it. I don't have much experience with that, but yeah, if you're into games, I think you need to invest more in your 3D development skills, how to create objects in a 3D realm, and how to combine your code with a physics engine and with the objects that you designed. There are a few really nice courses on YouTube. You'll find so much information out there. And yeah, I don't recommend Python for gaming unless it's a very simple game that you can design like that on your system. It's something for your nephews or your kids, or something that you're not willing to release for the wide population, because it's not as comprehensive as other languages, for that. Let's see. Why do you always use console-based Python and not idle? Like, does it matter? I think I love it how everybody asks me, like, why do you use this and why do you use that? Why you don't use all the stuff that I use? It doesn't matter. You can use whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. I try to adjust myself to folks who don't have much experience with anything that has to do with software development. I try not to use software that will take a lot of time to set up. I try to use the most popular and the most traditional means to do something. And I know there's a lot of people we had this, who was the UV guy here? It was like comments. I'm bombarded with comments. Oh, you need to use UV. It is so good. It is so good. You have to use UV. Why do you use pip? It's an abomination. Like, people get so emotional over UV. Holy smokes, you guys. I tried it. It's good. There is nothing wrong with it, honestly. There are two reasons why I prefer not to use it. And I'm talking about UV, not about IDE. So maybe I'll just remove it here. I want to address it because I get a lot of comments on it, okay? This UV stuff. Let me pull the UV comment before. I had it somewhere up there. There you go. Raphael, your comment. There you go. Oh, it's not UV. It's UU. Sorry, Raphael. I didn't mean to. I didn't see the Y. It's Uruguay, I think. It shows up as UY. I'm traumatized by this thing because people are they can't, yes, emotional damage. They're just driving me crazy with it. Yeah, sorry, Raphael. I'm glad you receive it with joy. But yeah, they're really gone mad. Like, I had a guy, like I had a video showing you how to install WSL and MiniForge and stuff like that. And he was like, why are you spewing this pip propaganda? Like, dude, it's a package manager. Like, don't be so emotional. It doesn't really matter. But here's why I don't use it, okay? First of all, UV is by a company named Astral. It is maintained by a physical company that is trying to revolutionize the way we use Python. Good for them. You should use it if you want. There is no reason why not to. But MiniForge, what I'm using to create my environment is community driven. It is a project that is not by some kind of a company that is using it for profit or using it for other purposes to make themselves more popular. I don't know. They don't have any influencers going around and getting paid to say that MiniForge is really, really good. Okay? I trust them a little bit more. And another reason why I use it is because some people are not familiar with it, but UV in Python is an abbreviation of UVcorn, which is a server. So traditionally, we associate UV not with this new package manager, but we associate it with the UVcorn, server. So I don't want to use it. I don't want to confuse people. And if you want to use it, be my guest. It's interesting. It does things a bit differently. So basically, the name of your environment and the name of your project folder is the same with UV. It's supposed to save you some time, but sometimes, you don't want to create, maybe there's a way around it, I'm not sure, I don't want to talk about it much, but sometimes I reuse environments. So for example, when I have a machine learning project, I have one folder where I have a machine learning project with a California housing data set. I have another directory when there's another data set that I'm using. These directories, they need to be different because they help me organize the information, but the environment I'm running them with is the same. So there's a few things I don't like about it. And yeah, I agree, pip is awesome. And UV is using pip. That's the thing. Anything that pip has, UV has. It is based on pip. So yeah, it's using Rust to install it on your system, and it's slightly faster, but I never had issues with the speed of pip. And it is the most traditional way of installing things. If you look at most of the documentations in the world, they tell you to install their products with pip. And if you look at most of the tutorials in the world, they will install things with pip. So yeah, there's a company that's trying to change the way we use Python, but I don't know. Should we change? It's up to you. I don't want to force anybody to do anything. It's your choice. Yeah, cool. So everyone, welcome, my Resident Evil AMC back. Great to see you. Yeah, awesome. Great to see you too. It sounds like pimp. Yeah, for sure. But that's not why I use it. Cool. Do you use Linux as your principal OS? I would have used Linux on at least one of my systems if my spouse was not, like, if he was also a programmer, it would make sense. But since he's not, I don't want to change things around. Sorry, I'm just sipping. Whew. Some tea. It is such a weird temperature here in Canada. Like, I drink some tea, I'm super warm, but I'm with shorts, I'm with a t-shirt, and I'm with winter socks. Like, if I lift my leg, you're gonna see a bunch of winter socks, but I can't lift my leg that far. Not yet. Okay, soon I will be able to. It's such a weird season. I was talking about something else. But yeah, I currently use WSL for programming, so anything that has to do with software development, artificial intelligence, Python, whatever it is that I'm trying to do, I'm doing through Linux. And it's really, really handy because you can still enjoy the benefits of Windows, which for me is Adobe. You cannot run Adobe software on Linux, okay? I tried many times, it doesn't work. And this is the primary software I'm using to edit my videos. So Premiere I'm using, Illustrator I'm using, and I cannot use it on Linux. So I have to have a Windows system, at least one of them. Another thing is that gaming, I know that some people are able to game on Linux. It's a lot of headache, okay? A lot of the games I'm playing, they're designed for Windows. So I don't wanna start an adventure of troubleshooting and installing and doing some settings. You know, Windows is the most popular system pretty much that the world has. So all the games and all the software are kind of tailored to it. Another reason why I don't use Linux, like native Linux, is because of you guys, okay? I look at how many people are watching from a Windows-based system, how many watching from Linux, and you cannot even compare these numbers. I have some Mac users following the channel. I don't know how you guys are dealing with this whole Python thing. I know you have the Brew, some Brew program that helps you with that. I don't know, but astonishingly, most of you guys, most of the viewers are using Windows. Yeah. Do I have any people commenting from X? I haven't seen anybody with a comment from X, so I don't know. Let's see. Do I have any comments, and are they pulled? Are they pulled into my Streamyard software? Let's see. Okay, so this is my only one heart. Okay, 50 people saw it. Okay, so it's not very popular. Okay, I have no comments here. If you guys are watching on X, please leave me a comment right now just so I can see if the comments are fetched into the studio program, into the StreamYard thing. Cool. Okay. I cannot hear you. Is it just you or is it everybody else? Is it just you? Because the volume is on 100, buy and sell. Okay, I wish there was an OS specifically designed to run games efficiently. I think very soon most games will run in the cloud. I know they're working on it. Steam is working on some, Steam is working on some cloud thing. The volume is low. I can try to make it a bit louder. Okay. How about this? Is it a bit better? Oh, no, that's not it. Sorry, that was not it. Mic volume. Okay. Can I move it to 140? How about now? Okay, let me know. Michael, let me know. You're the last one to say that it's a bit low. Let me know if it's better now. I made it a bit louder. Let's see. Okay. And the reason why my glass is so weird is because it's green. Okay. You can see my kitty in the background. There you go. I changed my wallpaper, and you can barely see that it's a kitty. Do you have any videos on deploying dynamic apps? Yeah, of course, Tiffany. It's actually one of my newest videos. Let me pull it out. So, how did I call it? Deploy Python app with forgot how you call it, with Docker stack, Python simplified. Let's have a look. That's not it. That's not it. Okay, I probably called it something else. Okay, let me pull it here. Oh, actually, I know what I'm gonna do. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. I hope it's entertaining, at least a little bit. And it's this one. This one. Okay, there you go. It's this video. Deploy web app like a pro. Step-by-step tutorial for beginners. Okay, this tutorial will show you how to take an app and then upload it to a virtual private server, which is a server that you set up on your own. Okay, you do it from scratch, and it's a very comprehensive tutorial, and it will teach you how to do it so that your website will not go down every time you're making an update. Basically, your website will remain live at all times, and you will just push new updates into it without crashing anything on your site. So it's a very nice setup. I really like the way it works. It's relatively easy. You need to get used to a few commands. There's a few quirks and features there, and I'm showing you everything in this tutorial. It's a really step-by-step, beginner-friendly kind of a tutorial that covers advanced topics. Because VPS, it's not something that is simple to do. Tried it many times, succeeded only once. Therefore, you see the video. Yeah. Cool. So I'm great. The sound is fine. This is awesome. Are you a data scientist? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, for sure. I need to post my computer science degree. I finally got it in the mail, but I didn't make a post yet. I got a first honors, by the way, if anybody doubted. And it's a specialty in artificial intelligence and machine learning. Okay, we did have a data science kind of a realm, but I think it's pretty much synonymous at this point. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science, you cannot do one without the other. You can try, but essentially you will come to a point where they all meet. And this is where we are right now. Yeah, so I guess. Yeah. How much lower than advert volume on YouTube, but perfectly clear? Well, I can make it even louder. Oh, no, again, I keep moving the wrong thing. This is as far as the volume goes. Okay, let me know if it's better. I hope I'm not too loud. Okay, because I think, yeah, this one is not really suppressing my sound, and it's pretty close to my mouth, so I don't know why you don't hear very well. It should be fine. I hope it is. But yeah, thanks for the feedback. Thanks for letting me know that something is off. I think some of you are listening with headphones, and some of you are listening with speakers, and it makes a whole bunch of difference, as far as I'm aware. Cool. What about Z editor? I don't even know what it is. In which context, like websites or code editors? Is your coffee green? Yeah, this is not matcha. No, it's tea, but it's an NVIDIA cup. I have so much NVIDIA merch, and I can never wear it because of the green screen. Their merch is always green. Okay, I have hats, I have pins, I have shirts, and they're really, really nice, but I can never wear them because this is what happens. Okay. Yeah, and this is just, I usually have very big and sheer glasses, but I had this tea waiting for me to make it ready for about a week. And I was in a rush. So I said, okay, I'll make it in this cup. And here we are. But I usually try to use sheer cups and no green. Because see what happens to green? There you go. Okay, this is green. Yeah. Have you tried Mojo? No, but I've heard from a lot of people that it will kill Python a while back and nothing happened. I can't make it work as binaries without magic and dependencies. So here's the problem. And this is the same problem I have with UV. Something becomes very trendy and everybody's talking about it and everybody's saying that it will kill everything else, nothing will remain. That's it. That's it. That's the only way to go. And then once it becomes less trendy, you realize that nobody really uses it. So I think the problem with Mojo is that it's made for something very specific. It's not supported by all the libraries. It is not supported by a wide range of tools that we usually use with Python. And that's why it was not embraced by the wide public. So when something is embraced by the wide public, you know that it's here to stay. For example, pip. We're all using pip. Anaconda, right? I don't know if Anaconda, but Miniforge or like Miniconda or all these derivatives of Conda. We're using it for a very long time and it's not going anywhere. And same goes for Python. Mojo, on the other hand, there was a time that everybody was bugging me about it, especially, I don't know if you know Darcy from X. She kind of disappeared. Darcy Scrumptious. She was really into Mojo and just like, Python is a dead language, it's gonna disappear. So far, whoever disappeared is Mojo. I don't know about you guys, okay? I don't know, actually you can import Python libraries into Mojo. I know, the question is how many of them are actually integrated? You cannot install it, no? Or was it somebody else? Yeah, like you need to be able to use tools easily. And if you cannot use them easily, or maybe if they work on certain systems and on other systems they don't work, people will get discouraged. They're not going to use it. Yeah. Let's see what else. Do you have any math research pet projects going on using Python? Well, I guess any data science project is a bit of a math research kind of project. I guess my actual research, something I'm very, very proud of, you can find it on my GitHub. Let's go there. GitHub. Okay, this is my final project in university. It's called Alternate. There you go. Here it is. I created a database of fake and real images. So AI modified images and their original copies. And you can find the entire data set here. If you go to data, there's a bunch of directories. I explain exactly what's inside them. Okay, we have test data. We have, for example, this is a real image. Ooh, there you go. Okay, and we have fake images as well. There you go. This one is fake. For example, I put the glasses on. You know, the glasses were edited manually, semi-manually, using Photoshop and Firefly. And you have the entire research here, actually. If you go to Alternate Report, this is my final submission to university. You have all the considerations I have when I created this data set, all the considerations I had when I created the classifier for this data set. And frankly, if you guys were following my channel back at the time, it was about a year ago, maybe a little bit less, you actually are part of this research. In fact, if you go to, you are my baseline. Okay, if you know what baseline is. Baseline, this is the first, so basically this is the first time you are running a machine learning algorithm. This is the result you get. And the reason why you're part of it is because my objective was to recognize AI altered imagery better than humans. And that's why you were the baseline. You were the humans that took part in this experiment. Yeah, so here I'm doing some research looking into existing projects and what's different between them and mine. Ooh, and that's it. That's all it shows you. Oh, show more pages. There you go. I want to get to the part where I see you. When I talk about the stream we had here. Design, domain, users, structure. It's a very comprehensive research, you know, proper one. I got a good grade on it too. I can't remember which, but it was good. I was happy. PyTorch classification, CUDA. Okay, I didn't reach it yet. A lot of pages. A lot of pages. Evaluation plan, recall metrics, implementation. Come on. Come on. Come on. Where's my, user testing. There you go. Here I'm talking about you guys, okay? User testing. And then I compare your results with the results from my classification, with the results with the neural networks I used. And the neural networks beat you. Not by a lot, but they did. That's why I got a good grade. If they wouldn't beat you, I wouldn't get a good grade. But yeah. So obviously there's a few points for improvement. So there you go. To establish a baseline model, I conducted user testing on 10 alternate samples. 47 viewers of a YouTube channel named Python Simplified volunteered to participate, submitting a Google form and sharing their class predictions. Okay, these viewers belong to a community of Python learners and AI development enthusiasts, the ideal user base for the alternate project. Okay, so and the reason why I created this project is for you guys to use it in your own projects, right? So you can just clone it from GitHub. It is free and open source. Use it as much as you'd like. Okay, this is here for you. Yay! Okay, okay, cool. Hi, hello to everyone who's joining us. Hi, Python Simplified. Want to thank you for all these years of getting me into programming. Yay! I knew nothing, now I know something. Fantastic, Jembo. Thanks so much for the comment. This is awesome. PSA, don't trust your stairs people. They're always up to something. Stick-a-dish. Stick-a-dish. They're always down with you. Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like it. VO3, what's VO3? Is it the video making model? Well, I've seen a lot of, I think it is, yeah. I've seen a lot of examples for it. Let's see. Let me double check that I get it right. VO3, sound effects. Yeah, Google DeepMind. Yeah, it is really cool. It looks really cool. Yeah, I've been trying the open source stuff. In fact, the deepfakes. You know, I'll share it one day. I'll share my conclusions. My brother actually ran it on his system. He has a 4070 Ti Super graphics card. He wanted to make a relatively big video with high quality. It took him 2 days, almost 2 days, to get an output. But it works, okay? There are 2 repositories currently on GitHub where you can actually get those models. Sorry, let me correct it. You will find links to external sources where you can get those models. Because GitHub will not host them. But yeah, that's what we ended up doing. Yeah, yes, I am in Windows and I needed to make a Docker container to generate binaries and run them. Yeah, I know nothing of Mojo. Honestly, I never tried it. I know it was popular at a certain point in time, not so much anymore. And frankly, I think for what I'm using it, I think that Python on GPU, you know, at least for data science, machine learning, deep learning, stuff like that, it's fast enough. And I'm sure it can be faster. And I'm sure they develop it faster. But speed is not the only thing. You also want to make something fast, you know, code something fast. You know, if you use C++, yeah, you can really customize your app and you can make it work really well with your memory. How many days it will take you to produce the same thing that Python will produce in 20 minutes? Because whatever you're coding, you know, this is time as well. So I rather spend less time on trying to solve a problem with code than, you know, wait 5 more seconds when it runs, okay? And the solutions we have right now are relatively strong and relatively good, at least, you know, with the graphics cards I'm using. And I don't have the 5090 series, okay? I'm still in the 40 generation. Nobody gave me a 5090 yet. I'm very sad. All my friends got one. And only I didn't get one. Ruby is almost as good as Python. I don't know, is it really intuitive? The question is how embraced it is for all, I don't know how easy it is to find information about it. I never looked. I just don't know how much resources, learning resources you have for this language. I know there's R, I know there's Rust, I know there's so many different options, and I love the fact that you can choose one or a few, and you can always play with it. That's the beauty of our profession. Hi Maria, what's your academic background? What did you study in school? So I did end up getting a degree, computer science degree very recently, and very soon I'm going to post about it. I'm going to make a nice LinkedIn post, you know, a fancy background, holding my certificate, you know, the usual stuff. But that's not, most of what I know didn't come from there. It filled up the gap, because I was a self-learned developer for many, many years. I started learning programming when I was 12. So as soon as my parents got a connection to the internet, proper connection, not through the phone, there was a time where you would connect to the internet through your phone, and then nobody could use the phone for the duration of you using the internet. So my parents would get very upset. I'd get a 1 hour allowance and stuff. But then when the broadband internet came in and it wasn't occupying the phone, this is where I really started getting into programming. Back then, everything was for free. Website hosting, forum making, there was no copyrights. We would make websites, like we were a bunch of 12-year-old kids making websites, and we would find really nice illustrations on some website. We would take the most beautiful illustrations from the collection. We would pick our favorite 5, and we will display it on our site with a link to the original artist. And that's how this artist became a bit more popular, because a lot of kids were kind of promoting it, marketing it organically. And hosting was free. I didn't need to pay anyone. All the learning resources were free. I learned HTML, CSS, a little bit of JavaScript, not too much. I don't think there was a lot of JavaScript back in the day. And it was all good. And then I just kept studying. I just kept learning, mostly things that have to do with web development. And then I ended up a graphic designer rather than a programmer. And I enjoyed it. It was a very creative kind of a profession. It was all good, rainbows and butterflies, until I read an article about Tesla. It was an article about their autopilot, their vehicle, I guess autopilot technology. And the article said that they're currently using machine learning and AI technology. And I always thought it's science fiction. I never knew it's science. So when I read this line, the first thing I did is signing up for a machine learning course, and it happened to be with Python. So this is why I learned Python to begin with. I did a AI with Python course in 2018, and this is how I started this journey. And then once you study this course, once you realize what AI is, and you go back to work, and you're back to graphic design, designing things and stuff, you can't help but think that you're wasting your time, because everything you're doing, you can delegate to AI. So yeah, here I am. And then, whatever happened in 2019, everybody lost their jobs, the whole world stopped. And that's where I started the channel. And simultaneously, I started a computer science degree. I just happened to start it in an online university, not in a physical university, which was a very good decision because the universities were closed for like 2 years. While I progressed with my degree, my peers were kind of stuck. They couldn't do anything. And yeah, here I am. So this is my academic background. But I think for the most part, I studied more from making videos for Python Simplified, because a lot of the topics that are absolute requirements for the industry, okay, if you want to be an artificial intelligence developer, if you want to do data science, and nobody bothered teaching you about CUDA, it's a problem. If you want to work with language models in AI, and you don't know what an MCP is, this is bad, okay? You don't know what LangChain is, you don't know what Ollama is, okay? Not good. And in my university, nobody bothered teaching you any of it. Nobody showed us a RAG application. Nobody talked about any of these things. And while I was learning, I couldn't help but wonder, how do you release these students to the market and they're missing the most important information they need? I mean, look at the job requirements everywhere. Where are you not going to find the word RAG? It's just everywhere. You have to know it. It's basic. What is agentic AI? They just teach you a bunch of theory. But theory on its own, it's not enough. You need to have theory and experience. And only then you actually understand what you're talking about. If your understanding of AI on a theoretical level, then oh my God, you're going to have a very hard time at your job. Or maybe that's why people start as junior developers and they learn everything from the seniors. Yeah, it is what it is. Must be nice to be born in the 21st century. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that. I wish I was born 20 years earlier, and I would catch the nicest times on this planet. I think things have gone very, very bad lately. When I was young, a rag was something that sat on a kitchen sink. Yeah. Yeah. I had the same issue with college. Going for software dev degree was essentially pilgrism. Pilgrism. Copy this, change comment to say your name, run, take screenshot, get an A. I feel you. I feel you completely. Okay. The word, and I know your biggest issue because you were submitting, Docker stuff. You were submitting Docker images, and your lecturers, I don't think they knew what Docker is. Same goes in my university. Nobody bothered teaching us Docker, and it's a very important component of software development. And I know that my degree was for AI and machine learning, but guess what? Like, this is just a few courses are about AI and machine learning. Most of the courses about software development and agile, development and all kinds of stuff, object-oriented programming and things like that. Nobody bothered saying the word Docker, not even once. Crazy stuff. So they taught you a bunch of theory, but what are you gonna do with this theory? Crazy. Ooh, my mom is calling. Hold on, give me a second. Sorry guys, I didn't tell her. Мама, я на прямой трансляции. Я тебе перезвоню скоро. Если не будешь спать. Okay, cool. Sorry guys, yeah, I forgot to tell my mom I'm streaming. This is the hour she usually calls. Had to help teach people myself. It's so nice. It's so nice of you. I didn't help anyone. I was so grumpy at my peers. Oh my God. I had tantrums. It's like, why do you want to do the same thing that your lecturer told you? Go and broaden your horizons, It's like, I didn't know how to talk to people. I still can't. Too judgmental. I watched your videos during my college days in 2023 for my Python courses. Helped me a lot. Awesome. Thank you so much. It's funny, in my Python course, I didn't even watch it. I did the midterm, I did everything until the 2 days before the exam. I actually bothered watching some portions of this course, and I was horrified. I just wanted to know what will be in the exam, because obviously I know Python. I didn't need to study it from scratch, but before the exam, you want to make sure that, you don't have any gaps in knowledge. And I went through the entire course, in a span of 2 days. I was horrified. The lecturer, okay, oh my God, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to have to pull out Jupyter Notebook or something. And I'm gonna have to explain it to you, because this is something that you're not gonna believe me unless you see it. Okay? Yeah, no, don't start a tour. Let's start a notebook. Okay? This is a notebook. I'm just gonna move slightly here. Okay, so usually in Python, you create a list like that. You say my list equals list, or you can just do it with pair of brackets. You can say apples. You can say, you can say bananas, and so on and so on. Okay? Another way to create a list is to say my list equals list, which is a built-in Python function. And sorry if you cannot see it very well. I'm just going to make it larger. I'm going to make this disappear. Okay? Another way to make list is to put it in a list function. Okay? You know what my lecturer was doing? He was trying to demonstrate that Python is a very ambiguous language, and it allows you to do a lot of things. And he said it in one video, and he said that even though, you're not, he just demonstrated in one video, and then for the rest of the duration of the course, he was abusing this thing, because the way he created a list is with list equals apples and bananas. This is an abomination, okay? This absolute abomination, because why would you use a reserved keyword to create if you don't have to? okay, if you only change it to my list, you're not using a reserved keyword. But if you are using the reserved keyword, you know what? Python will most likely allow you to do it, but it will cause you some issues along the way. There is no reason to do it, okay? If you do it, you type list, you'll get your apples and bananas. But what happens if in the next cell, you need to use the list function, okay? What if now you're gonna say, okay, 1, 2, 3. Don't you think it's a bit confusing, this whole concept? Why on earth would you use it in examples? And for the entire duration of the course, this is how we were defining lists. List equals something. This is not a variable name, and you should not give it, like, this is a very bad example for students who don't necessarily understand Python. It was really, really annoying, sorry. Really, I was triggered by it. What happened to my mouse? Hey, buddy. Hey, okay, he's fine. Like Terrence and Phillip from South Park. Well, if you think of the fact that they can be your peer at work one day, helps making sure they know their stuff. Yeah, I know, you're right. No, I was way too harsh on my peers. I was very unpleasant, and I recognize my flaws. I just really like having good grades. I'm very competitive when it comes to it. And then when you're in a team whose main goal is to pass, it's a bit of a problem because you're a perfectionist. You're striving for 100 always. And if you're with a team that is striving for, 40, which is a pass grade in my university, the expectations are very different. Yeah, it was pretty bad. A few of my projects were okay, but one of the projects was so bad. Oh my God, so bad. It was agile development or something. We made an app. It's so funny. We made an app that was supposed to be a Chrome extension that helps you web scrape. It didn't do any of this, okay? There was a bunch of print statements that pretended like it's web scraping something, but it didn't actually do anything. We made an MVP, and oh my God, it was such an embarrassing project. I don't know how much they got on this project because I submitted my own version of the work. I am that crazy, okay? I got above 70, but I did the whole thing, so I don't know how much they got. Is there a way to access my Python data? Is there a way to access my Python data science level? I don't know what it means. Probably, yeah, but I don't know what the question is. Do you think creating a project with your viewers? Yeah, maybe. Okay. Assess. What? I don't know what it means. I'm not gonna repeat some dirty words. Okay, I recognize one over there. It's fair, dirty words. If you only knew how much I curse in real life, holy smokes, you guys. You guys, a way to validate their skill level. How to assess your data science skills. Get your peers to review them. So create a project and then share it with your coworkers or with your family that has any kind of, if your family has some background with programming, get some feedback from them. If you're in a university, share it with one of the lecturers, probably the nice guy who would check it, because usually they'll ignore it. Or maybe go to some social media site, post it on some Python groups, data science groups on Facebook. Just get feedback from people who actually have the experience, especially if it's people who you know personally. They'll be more willing to check your work and help you. And that's a good way to do so. Another good way to do so is start your own YouTube channel. Start posting your project, and you'll get so much feedback, even if you don't ask for it. And actually will make you a much better developer. Every time I made an oopsie and somebody corrected me, that's an oopsie I'm not gonna make again. Because it's embarrassing. If you already know that you're doing something wrong, you'll never do it again. And people caught you. And a lot of people have seen this video, right? And they all know that you didn't know, so. Okay, I hope it answers the question. Group work is annoying. It is the best to create your own version of the project just in case. Well, the thing about me is that when you have a group that actually meets physically in one room once a week, it's not a problem. But we're talking about an online program where each person lives on the other side of the world, in a different culture, in a different time zone, and then try to arrange something with people from all over the world. And the thing is, the thing about this university is that a lot of people who have software development skills, they go and they do it for the certification, right? It's not like we need to learn anything in the university. We just need the stamp of approval saying, okay, she passed all the exams and now she has a BSc in computer science or whatever. So a lot of people doing that, they actually have experience in the industry. I don't consider myself as somebody with a lot of experience in the industry, but a lot of people were working currently in high tech, and their job and their work sent them to do this degree. So these type of people were combined in groups with folks that they have no understanding of programming at all, okay? I don't know what they were doing there, okay? But they have no comfort with learning new libraries, no comfort with learning new tools. They just want to do whatever the lecturer told them, and that's it. You're not going to learn anything. Like, if you're not comfortable with this, you're in the wrong profession. Every day there's something new. Python itself is changing all the time. Did you know that there's Python 3.13? I didn't know that. I found out about it a few days ago. This is crazy. Okay. Sydney, like me being awake at 4 a.m. I don't know in which context, but I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, this is terrible. Well, thank you for being here again. It's a tough one. Sorry, project in Spanish is proyecto. Proyecto. I think I got it. I think I did. Projekt in Russian. If it works, it works. If it works, don't touch it. The spring semester, I had to help freshmen download Jupyter Notebook. Okay, well, did you tell him he can just access it online? He doesn't even need to download it. Oh, that's how I use it, actually. Very often when I need to do something silly, I open it and I try it and whatever. Do you remember the first time you ran your first Python program? It was definitely 2018, but no, I don't remember. It's usually a Hello World program, and I always revise it to Hello Maria because I want to be special. That's all I remember from it. But it was a horrific course. I didn't understand anything. I got a nice grade, but it doesn't mean I understood what I'm doing. I was shooting in the dark, and then I had to relearn. About a year later, I relearned everything, and I actually grasped it. Because when people teach you artificial intelligence and machine learning, they assume you are doctors of math. Okay, you have 1 million degrees and you understand what these squiggly lines and formulas are all about. No, people don't understand these type of stuff. Normal people don't. And I think it happens to you when you become, a very senior developer. You forget how it was like when you just started. You assume that people know a whole bunch of stuff, but they don't. I was trying to get some help for a project that you'll see on this channel, very soon. And I don't think the guy even understood what I'm asking. Because he's that far off in his career. He has all these years of experience, and he assumes everybody knows how servers operate. Everybody knows how to. I don't know. It's just a lot of information that people are missing if it's the first time they're trying something, and senior developers, they don't seem to understand it. So yeah. Okay. I hope I'm not like that. I think I'm becoming a bit like that, but I'm always trying to kind of stay attached to my roots. If I ever do it, let me know. Okay. Hello, Norman. Good to see you. Hello. This is my child. my Python child. I took some courses, but never have confidence with my skill. You'll never have confidence with your skill unless you get feedback from 1 million people that you appreciate, and maybe then you'll have confidence. Okay, I don't have confidence in what I do. Not 100% confident. I seem very confident, but I fake it till I make it. That's my secret, okay? I had a senior web dev not know what REST APIs were. I was shocked they got to a senior level not knowing REST. Just the question is what he was doing like in his job, okay? Maybe his job was in a very specific field. Like my uncle, he was developing Android apps for over a decade with very specific tools, you know, with Kotlin, with Java and things like that. And when you go to a company that is using different tools, there's a big learning curve, okay? Or if you go to a company that instead of developing mobile applications, they develop different kinds of applications, okay? So it's a big adjustment, right? So, and especially if somebody studied on their own and didn't go to, you know, through the formal education, boot camp kind of a route, I see how it happens. And I know that a lot of senior developers, they have issues finding jobs, at least these days, because their skills are so specific. And they were specific to something that was relevant 20 years ago. And they had a job that they held for 20 years, you know, and right now they either lost it or they're trying to move on to something else. And it's very hard because you have all this experience with something so specific. Go and translate it to something else. It's a rough one. Interesting answer. Okay, good. I'm happy that you're interested. I got an A in my Python for data science course and I knew nothing. 1 month later, I'm still reading and practicing. Yeah, I feel ya. Similar things. But at least you got an A, okay? It's important. It's important for the parents. It's like, Mom, I got an A, yay. You know? I faced security analyst, didn't know what is row HTTP request and its headers. It is what it is. Oh, thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much for the awesome tip. This is great. Thanks for everything you do. Is there any GUI to program in Python to program games on a Mac? Wow, Mac, I have no idea. Let me see if Pygame runs on Mac. Pygame on Mac? Question mark? Getting started. Let's see. Oh, dude, okay, let me just ask Grok. Will save me some time. Can Pygame run on Mac? Yes, no typos. Let's see. Okay, yes. Okay, there you go, Mark. Pygame. This is the #1 GUI in Python for gaming, okay, for developing games. I do have a tutorial about it, but I wouldn't know how to install it with through Mac with the cold brew you call it. I can't remember. Anyways, the video name is, just type Pygame on my channel and you're gonna find it. It's this guy, okay? This Pygame simple application. It's a very nice car game. If you were playing Tetris back in the day, there was a game like that of two vehicles that you didn't want to crash, and then the speed was becoming like higher and higher and higher. And then if you enjoy this video, if you build this app, you can then develop it further with an object-oriented programming tutorial. Here I teach you how to change cars, how to add some sound to your cars, and all kinds of fun stuff. You'll see. So both of these tutorials are a really nice duo if you're looking to develop games in Python. And that's the library I recommend. That's the library I've worked with a lot. And it's an open source, free, whatever it is that you need. It's all there. That's the traditional way of developing games with Python. There might be some new libraries that I'm not aware of, but this is the most popular library out there for these type of tasks. Hope it helps. Thank you so much again for the tip. Homebrew, cold brew. Yeah, all coffee concepts. Okay, Badger has an answer for Tiffany. Let's see what Tiffany was asking. It's web dev. Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to excuse people's, just trying to kind of play the devil's advocate, right? Maybe he's not that dumb. Maybe he's just confused, you know? Do you have videos on creating REST APIs on converting scripts to REST APIs? Well, I have a lot of videos on these type of stuff. Like what kind of stuff are you trying to do? What kind of stuff, what are you trying to achieve? Because you were talking about deploying a website first, right? So it means you have a website. No? Let me know. Let me know what you're struggling with. Tiffany, if you're still here, give me a shout. Tell me exactly what the problem is and what you cannot solve. Maybe it's a very small fix, right? Might be. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Hi, Maria. Hello, Hamoudi. Hello. Hello. Ahlan. Like Maria always says you have to get out there and do something with your knowledge, solve some sort of problem or break something. But do something. Yeah, exactly. Don't ask how, just try. Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of implementing a new way of life, which is just moving on. It doesn't matter what, just move on. You had a little oopsie, you had a little fail, forget about it, move on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's a nice rhythm. And then I got stuck last week with a issue with figuring out what an MCP is, and oh, it was so rough. So I'm 1 week behind, but as you see, I'm moving on. Let's do a nice live stream. Let's catch up and move on with some other stuff. Let's see if I have an answer from Tiffany. Nope, nothing here. Nothing here. This forum really motivates me. Good, good. Hopefully it will keep motivating you. This is amazing. Python is my favorite, but one thing I feel bad about is that it doesn't have a proper libraries to create SaaS. For that, I have to learn JS as well. I think you can develop a SaaS application, software as a service. You should be able to. There's a lot of tools in Python that can help you with that. Let's see. Let's see. Because all you need is a way to collect payment, right? I think you can develop SaaS applications with Python. I'm pretty sure. I forgot what I wanted to look. I forgot what I wanted to search. Sorry, guys. Distracted easily. I don't know what's wrong with me. What's your favorite project you worked on so far? My machine learning workflow. That was my favorite one. Right? Right? I'm not wrong. If Badger says it, I believe him. I agree. It's like you just need to find the right tool for it. JavaScript is great for anything that has to do with websites. I'm not going to lie to you, but Python can do almost anything that JavaScript can do. There's Python alternatives to everything. So yeah, my favorite project, let me pull it out. That would be my machine learning. This one, simple machine learning code tutorial for beginners with sklearn, scikit-learn. Okay, it's such a good video. Like, I know not a lot of people have watched it, but it's a very niche video. If you're getting into machine learning and you know, if you enjoy these type of stuff, data science, if you want to be proficient in the field, you have to start with this one. Like this is a really comprehensive guide. It's a really step-by-step it will consolidate all your knowledge about machine learning. If you have some background, but you're not sure, you know, what these things mean, it was by far my favorite thing to work on because I know a lot about this. I felt very comfortable. Like you guys are saying, you don't have confidence in things. Same goes with me. But when it comes to this machine learning stuff, woo, very confident. Very confident. Okay? Okay. I'll be back. Sorry, guys. Let's see. What else do I have here? Do you try Go AI? No. No idea. No idea what it is. Hey, thank you for your videos. Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy. Yeah, no worries. I've always enjoyed Python, but without a clear roadmap, it's easy to get completely lost. Do you agree? It depends. Because usually the roadmap is part of the course you're taking, and the course is arranging this roadmap for you. So if you're taking the most basic Python course, there's so many for free. The roadmap will be set for you by the lecturer. So, the lecturer will continue slowly. But obviously, after you watch your first course, it doesn't mean that you know Python. You just know enough to start experimenting on your own. And then once you experiment and you develop and you move on, you gain enough skill and experience to actually know Python, right? Rather than theoretically, you already tried certain situations, you already got a bunch of errors and you know how to overcome them. And it happens with time. The general rule of thumb is, if you want to learn something, give it 4 years. Okay, anything you want to learn. You want to be an HVAC mechanic, it's going to take you 4 years. Okay, you can learn the theory in less than that, but it doesn't mean you'll be confident troubleshooting stuff. Same goes with software development. A lot of people think that they can just take a 1-month course and then they know everything about programming. No, it doesn't work that way. Maybe it used to. Back in the day, you may be able to find a really, really high-paying job, but not anymore. Not anymore. Sadly. Yeah. How can I create a real-time chat graph with Python as backend on a Flask application? I don't know if I have a chat app for Flask. Like, do you have some background with Flask? If you do, there's so many approaches to it. Like, I don't know, it's a very general question. It's similar to what Tiffany asked earlier. It's like, do you have any videos on RESTful, APIs? Like, I think every web development video I have is a RESTful API. It's like, which one you're looking for? Yeah. There you go. I just talked about Tiffany. I created a floating AI assistant with Python GUI, and I wanted to convert to web app. And someone told me to convert it to REST API before I shared it. The problem with taking an AI assistant and taking it from your local machine to the web is not the way you convert it to a different language, is that you need to pay a lot of money for the infrastructure so that your AI will process requests, on the hosting machine, right? Because on your computer, you probably have a very nice GPU. It works really well, and the app is very smooth on your end. But as soon as you upload it to some kind of server, in order to get a server that can handle, or a server that has, the same type of GPU that you have, and to provide the answer very, very quickly, you need very, very expensive hardware. Okay, you need to rent some kind of a GPU out there to do it. Now, I don't know the complexity of your AI assistant, but the problem is not converting it into, something like Flask or something like Django, but incorporating a timely fashion AI, in a website, especially if it's a project, that you do as a hobby rather than your, main flow of cash. So I'll give you a few examples. Okay, if you type web GUI, I guess only one video is with web GUI. Okay, so this shows you how to use Flask. It's a really, really nice web framework. That's the framework I recommend to start using. There's going to be a new video about Streamlit, which is a pure Python GUI. That's going to be the next video, the one we're going to do about the MCP that I got stuck on. Okay, so far this is my favorite. Okay, there's another option for pure Python, and it's SciPy. I have a few videos on it. I have a very simple machine learning application. Check this one out. I think it's as close as you get. Yeah, no, I don't know if it's RESTful API though. I don't know if it's considered RESTful. But the second one is considered RESTful. My second SciPy video, which is a bit more advanced, it's a data science dashboard. It's an hour and a half of goodness, but it's a very comprehensive video on how to create a proper site. Again, the problem is the hardware, because when you're processing something on a server far, far away, you either pay a lot of money for the server to be very strong, or maybe there's a way to pay for something like ChatGPT, right? You subscribe to ChatGPT, you have a month, you know, to run the 4.0 version, right? You subscribe for about a month, and then you can just delegate tasks to it. And then instead of processing it on your website, it processes it on OpenAI's infrastructure. I think it works like that. I'm not sure. I've never done it. Like with the tools we have right now and with my GPUs, I see no reason to pay to some kind of AI. You know, there's so many things you can do locally. There's so many things you can customize locally. There's really no reason to going online, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, that's my 5 cents. Okay, so I recommend anything that has to do with AI, do it locally. Okay, don't bother transferring your application to a website. Convert it into an executable file, and then you can share it very easily, or convert it into a Docker image, and then you upload it to Docker Hub, and then anybody can pull your project into their system and run it in the same environment that you will run it. Okay, so I recommend Docker instead, and I have a few videos about it. Sorry for confusing you. Okay, I know that's not what you wanted to hear. It's like, how do you do it? Don't do it. Okay, it's a terrible answer. Okay, but check out. Okay, I have 2 Docker applications with AI. Okay, the first one. So this is the advanced one, the Stable Diffusion GUI app, text to image GUI app, whatever it is. Just make it a bit bigger. Very comprehensive guide, a very nice project. It will create all kinds of images. It will generate images for you. But again, it happens locally on the local system of an individual. Whether they have GPU or CPU, it doesn't matter. Okay, you just kind of adopt it according to what I teach over there. And there's the Docker Quick Start. Oh, where's my quick start? Simply explained. There you go. Okay, this is a bit more simple, also using AI. Okay, you have a model embedded in this application, but it also runs on your system. I just show you how to do it in a bit more basic level in a much shorter video. I recommend these two. Okay, I missed a bunch of answers. Let me go to the bottom comment. Okay, I will probably do an executable. Yeah, if it's already at Kinter, right, just do an executable, share it with the world, and it might work really well. And if you don't want to do an executable, you can do a setup, how do you call it? Setup wizard. There's actually a cooler way of doing it, if you'd like. I have a tutorial on it too. Acer has student subscription free, $200 for a year, so she can deploy Docker on Acer. Yeah, you can try that, for sure. For sure, but you still need to convert it to Docker probably, because that's how you deploy things, I would think. That's the most traditional way of deploying things. Roadmap for mastering AI. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it down the road, I promise, for sure. I'm working on a few videos that I want to include in there. I need to rewatch some of my existing videos because I don't remember what I taught there. Like, I know that I have videos about it, but I don't know their exact content, so I'm going to have to rewatch some of them. Most of the stuff you need are already arranged in a playlist, so if you go for... can I look for playlist here? I think I can. AI Simplified. Okay, let me do it here. Give me a sec. I'm gonna find it. Okay, go to playlists. Artificial intelligence and machine learning simplified. Okay, I'm gonna get a shareable link, and I'm gonna send it to you in the chat. Hopefully, you'll see it on your end. So this playlist has a whole bunch of videos arranged. Okay, if I go to videos, I show it to you guys all the time. A lot of people are asking me about it. This is kind of the step-by-step guidelines I have at the moment. The most important video is the first one, Machine Learning for Beginners. This goes over things like reinforcement learning, unsupervised learning, and supervised learning in the most basic means possible. It's a very, very simple guide, and I'm showing an example of a child and a father, and I equate it to a model and a developer. And these real-life examples will help you understand the whole field. You will learn what are features, what are targets, and you know, the basic stuff you need for this. Also, Oh, Badger has a roadmap of his own. Good job. Awesome. Next, neural networks. Simply explain. Very important stuff. It will teach you what are hidden layers, and mostly it will use images to explain it. And then we move on to algorithms. Perceptron is the most basic algorithm of AI. It's a basic unit of logic that is either true or false, 1 or 0, black or white. Okay, it's a binary algorithm. And then you kind of move on and you develop it and you learn, you learn some loss functions. You learn what is gradient descent, which is basically the whole foundation of neural networks. And then in this video, this is one of the coolest videos on this channel, we learn how to make a neural network with tools that you're not supposed to make neural networks with. So on the algorithmic level, okay, we take NumPy, we take pandas, and we create our own kind of algorithm. Then we dive into databases, then we dive into GPU parallel programming. There's a whole bunch of goodies here, but ignore these 2 videos, this neural networks part 2 and part 1, because the network you'll create is just so stupid. Like, I can't even explain how stupid it is. It's a really, really stupid network. So don't take it as an example. I was just beginning my journey there. On the theoretical level, you have this Can Machines Think? It's a 3-video series, but it's a very important 3-video series. It takes an article by Alan Turing, the article where he introduced the imitation game, or Turing test kind of a game, and I explain it in simple terms with lots of nice images, and it's a fun little series. And yeah, check it out. Check it out. There's a whole bunch of videos in this thing, okay? Just go slowly, go over those videos and you'll get there. Okay, eventually, I'm gonna film a proper roadmap. Not my roadmap, just a site with decent roadmap. Okay, generic roadmaps, okay? But check it out. Probably, it's probably good. We can check it out right now. Let's see. Let's open it up. It's like, I think the only reason that Badger is allowed to share links is because he's a moderator. I don't think anybody's allowed to share links. Roadmap.sh, roadmaps. Let's do it. What? Page not found? Oh, because that's all caps, of course. Ah, what'd you do? My screen is so small. Like, not the screen, the zoom in on the screen is so small. I always make it very big, but then Mario comes in and he makes it so small, my spouse, like I can barely read anything. Roadmap. Okay, maybe it's case sensitive. No, page still not found. What's up, Badger? What did I do wrong? Why not just click the link? I can't. It won't let me. Did it let me? It's not a link on my end. It's not clickable. I wish it was. I'm trying. Roadmap, SH, roadmaps. That's why. Okay, beautiful. So what are we looking for? We are looking for artificial intelligence. Not Python. Not Python. Okay, let me see. Where's the search button? Hey, buddy. Okay, front end, beginner, full stack, cybersecurity, AI, and data scientist. Awesome, found it. Okay. Oh, and it even shares some courses with you. Okay. 1. Mathematics. Yeah, don't start with math. The last thing you should start with is math, okay? I know I'm kind of hiding some of it, but mathematics seems to be the first. What is this? I don't understand the whole concept. Okay, looks like math is first. You need linear algebra, calculus, mathematical analysis, differential calculus, statistics, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, don't start with that. Please don't. Do yourself a favor. If you want to get discouraged and not learn anything down the road, then start from math, okay? Math, you should leave for last, okay? You should start with, why do you even need this math? What's the purpose of learning this math? And then you'll get better results. Trust me, okay? Start with the first 2 videos I showed you. Start with my introduction to, what was it, machine learning? I showed it just a second ago, okay? Okay, start with the concepts, okay? Start with machine learning for beginners and then neural networks simply explained. After it, do whatever you want, okay? Study math, study all kinds of other stuff, but start with those basic concepts because you need to understand the general idea of machine learning before you understand the math, because you will not have the motivation to study it unless you don't, okay? Just something you have to do, no choice. Okay, if you want to give up, just start with linear algebra. I know, right? These are tough stuff. Need a video on web scraping. I have a whole playlist on web scraping with any kind of tool you want. Honestly, I recommend Playwright. I think it's a bit more interesting than other ones, but let me pull it out. I have, where's my web scraping playlist? Programming step by step, parallel computing, artificial intelligence, data science. Ah, okay, I have another page. I have another page, web scraping and automation simplified, okay? The link I'm sharing right now is my web scraping playlist. Any library you want is over there, okay? There are certain libraries that got updated since the moment I filmed the videos, okay? So if you're using anything that has to do with Selenium, okay, if you see the word Selenium, you need to check my GitHub where I showed you the updated code, because Selenium changed some of the syntax since I filmed those videos, so you need to get the updated code on GitHub. The good news is I have the updated code ready for you. It's very minor changes, okay? It's not gonna affect your workflow. Or you can install the old version of Selenium that I used in my videos, and then you don't need to change anything, okay? It's another option, okay? Y'all some math haters, yeah, I know. To my surprise, I use a lot of math, especially when I do game related things, spawning things in a circle around a point, yeah. Well, you can't get away. Like, you need to learn math for certain things, for sure. There's no question about it. You cannot be a machine learning engineer. You cannot do AI if you don't understand the basics of these formulas or how they work. It's just that those formulas, it's not really finding the radius of a circle and stuff like that. It's doing calculations on giant data structures, okay? Matrices in the size of like buildings, and you need to understand these things really well and troubleshoot them really well. But this kind of math, you know, that happens in 3D, you know, I'm sure you're dealing with it too in game development, right? Anything that has to do with 3D math is a bit more complex than what people imagine. Like, I find it a bit more complex to learn. And I don't hate math. I love math. It's just that that's the last thing you should start with if you want to learn machine learning. From my personal experience. So the first course I took in 2018, it was math dominant. It was mostly math. And I couldn't even understand the most basic formulas that are running on you know, that we use for machine learning. Because the way they presented them is not with a simple input-output calculation. They present you the official formal mathematical formula with limits and with repetitions, and oh my God, it's so complex. Like even big O notation, I know that it's a very important part of our profession, but certain things you need to understand on the concept level, on the theoretical level, before you dive into the actual formula. If you look at the formula, it will creep you out. It's like, don't start with it, okay? I'm just pulling out saying, okay. It's like, since when are you such a big math fan? What is your opinion on learning C++? It's a good language to learn. Like, if you're into object-oriented programming, go for it. Go for it. It's great to have this knowledge, because a lot of, you know, when you're making software, you know, for your desktop, you know, you rarely do so with Python. You can do it with Python, but, you know, there are certain languages that are a bit more suitable for for these type of applications, because Python is very ambiguous, but C++, it needs you to know how much room in memory you want to save, how many bits your software takes, okay? It doesn't leave a lot of room for asking questions. You're being very specific with what you want, and that's why I need languages like C++. You'll get more errors than in Python, yeah, for sure. And sometimes you wouldn't even know where the error is. It wouldn't tell you, like Python does. But it's an important language to have for your resume, I would say. I would have it too. It's good to know. Why do I care about circles? I can spawn things around a player, yeah. Yeah, I know. I was doing this whole Unity course. I was trying to calculate things, trying to calculate things manually, you know, through my eyes, and it's never, you never put the item in the right place, so you need to do actual calculations with it. But with spawning and stuff, I never did a game that actually spawns things. We had enemies spawning, but I wasn't doing this. Somebody else did it. A very nice guy from South Africa. I can't remember his name. Something with K. Can't remember his name. Python to interact with web pages, elements on web pages, automation, understand the inspect element. Yeah, I have a whole playlist about it. Yeah, like you use it every time you do some web scraping. You press on inspect, you take a look at the source code, and based on that, you scrape. Yeah, all these videos I shared, that's exactly what you'll see there. I would use Playwright since it's a newer automation implementation. I used an older implementation for Android and Google, removed the library, breaking all my automation. Yeah, and in Playwright, you don't really need to download a browser. It comes embedded. So it's not, it's a very nice tool. I also recommend it. I like it too. Where did I go? I'm going to do some web scraping on your channel. I just wish I had more time. Video about Git and GitHub, how to use it, and think for your help. I offered to do one in a recent video. Nobody really commented and asked me about it. If I see more comments on it, of course I'll cover it. It's very important. And maybe after I'll do a proper GitHub explanation and stuff, we can do a project together, and then you can push things into my repositories and whatnot. Yeah, sure. What is your opinion about enhancing object classification accuracy by incorporating tangent data in model architecture? Enhancing object classification accuracy by incorporating tangent data in the model architecture. Like, you mean like it's an embedded data set that the model has and it helps it recognize objects better? I'm not sure. There's a lot of complex words. And to express my opinion about it, is that an opinion-based questions? Like, is that opinion-based? I don't know. It's good. I don't know what to answer on this. I love it that you guys are asking me questions that I can barely understand. Like, I think I understand, but I just don't know what's there to think about it. For some projects, you should use it. For others, no. But I don't think I ever worked with a model that has embedded information in it. Like, it's embedded in logic, in the architecture, and not, obtained by training over time. Okay? Because honestly, it becomes part of the architecture because the weights are adapted to the data down the road. I'm just trying to understand if it exists in a model prior, right? If it's some kind of a built-in logic that the model has, and I don't know how it affects the accuracy of object classification. I wouldn't know. But yeah, tough questions, yeah. It's like, I'll go to the very bottom of the comments. Okay, we have Sandy checking out. I'm picking up my eyeballs and going to bed. Good night, Sandy. Thanks so much for being here. Good morning, I guess, in Australia. Good morning. Why deep learning and not machine learning? It depends. It depends on the algorithm. We use these two terms interchangeably. Okay, machine learning and deep learning. Every time people say machine learning, most of the times they mean deep learning. But because deep learning is not as popular and people don't necessarily understand what it is on the, I guess they understand it on a professional level, but when I'm saying something to people who don't have the background, you prefer to use things like machine learning. And the difference is in terms of algorithms. Machine learning is dealing with relatively simple algorithms. So linear regression, it's very, very simple. We learned it with math. You can do it on a piece of paper with your pencil and stuff. But when it comes to, you can do the same with other algorithms as well, but it will take you more time. When you're talking about deep learning, you're talking about a lot of layers for these algorithms. You're talking about things like neural networks, which is something a bit more, which is something that requires gradient descent and a lot of other concepts involved. Requires a bit more studying, and usually the data is bigger. There's more data involved. So people use it interchangeably. I did this many times on the channel. I called something machine learning while it actually was deep learning. Not a lot of people corrected me, but it's common. It's not a big oopsie. It's not a big thing, that should bug you. Just know that a lot of people, when they say machine learning, they actually mean deep learning. Don't judge us, please. We're not doing it because we're mean, try to confuse people. No, it's more popular. Can you suggest any FYP ideas according to AI? FYP for your... I don't know what FYP is. Okay, let's see. FYP. For you page? Personalized feed content. Okay. According to AI. What kind of ideas? What do you mean? For you page. Yeah, but what, like... a final year project, holy smokes. Okay, well, just think of what you're passionate about. Think what you actually want to solve, what you're curious about. Don't do, but not something you actually want to make money with in the future. Think of something intermediate, something that you don't mind giving to your university, because very often they just take it. It's not yours, My dad, he made his project many, many years ago. He never got his project home. It stayed in the university, okay? So take an idea that you don't mind, sharing with the world, and you don't mind your university to take over, but something that genuinely makes you curious, okay? What kind of question do you have? So for example, I'll give you a few examples. Right now you want to buy a house. Okay, you don't know where. You're trying to find where it's more economic, where the weather is a bit better, where the neighbors are a bit more, with your mindset. You have all these questions and you're trying to find the perfect place to buy a house. Because, this type of investment, it's something that you have for years, 25 years, right? That's the usual mortgage time that it takes you. So if you have a question like that, it's very easy to convert it into a machine learning project. Another thing, which is what I'm doing right now, it's not a final year project, but I don't know if some of you, if you follow me on Twitter, you already know, but I just got a treadmill finally and started running again. And every time I run, I write how long I ran, for how many time, with which elevation, how much weight I lost as a result of this run, and yada, yada, yada. And then down the road, I'm going to have a very nice data set. And I'll be able to analyze this data set and see how my body reacts to different elevations, different speeds, and, everything in your life is data. And any kind of data you can make AI with. Even if it's a little bit of data, there are certain techniques that you can use that will either extract more features from this data. We call it polynomial features. Check out this video I recommended earlier, the one about machine learning for beginners. Or you can use special types of I forgot the name of this thing. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot it. It's annoying. It's annoying. It's probably in my evaluation here. K-fold. It's K-fold, but the most important word I forgot. K-fold. Sorry guys, I'm sorry. My brain is fried. My validation. K-fold validation. Holy smokes, okay? Okay, validation is something that happens within the training function, and it tests how well the model is trained on data it has never seen before. And you use it when you have very little data. So there's so many techniques, there's so many different solutions to incorporate in your project. But there's one thing I'm gonna say that you need to make sure you're doing it for university, okay? Do not use the metric of accuracy. It's not enough, okay? You need to have a confusion matrix with false positives, false negatives. You need to do the whole thing. You need to do all this table of metrics. Make sure you include it. Otherwise, it's a big problem, okay? I don't know if it's gonna be part of your, if it's written specifically in your university syllabus or your task, but it's very important. You cannot just measure accuracy. It's not enough. It's not accurate enough. Okay. Follow-up question to the C++ question. What can the C language do that the C++ language is not really suitable for? I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything of that kind. Are there any circumstances where a software programmer would use C rather than C++? I don't think so. I don't think it matters. I think they're similar enough. But yeah, check with some language model or something. It's another way to implement, and C and C++ are very similar. Same goes for C#. These languages are so close together. I think C++ is a bit newer, right? And it's a matter, I think it uses a different kind of, how do you call this thing? Compiler? Does it use a different kind of compiler? Okay, does C++ and C have the same compiler? Let's see. No, they don't. They don't. See, so C++ is largely a superset of C, okay? So it's a subset, superset, very close by. Essentially, it doesn't matter. It does a little bit, but not really. Are there Python-only jobs out there in the job market? And probably data science stuff. Yeah, and things that have to do with data science, artificial intelligence. You're not going to use a lot of other languages for that. But they're not going to call it Python developer. They're going to say machine learning engineer with experience in PyTorch and TensorFlow and all kinds of stuff that we have in Python. Yeah, check it out. But there's not a lot of like Python developer. I'm hiring a Python developer. Only Python? Nothing else? Really? You know, it rarely happens. Rarely happens. Friday evening, my brain is fried too. Good night. Good night, Paulo. Which language should I use? It depends what you're trying to build. Depends what you're trying to build. Did I miss something here? Oh, final year project. That's not a comment. I know. I also Googled it. That's what I got. That's what I got. I'm here only to print hello world. Any advice to make me learn Python faster? You need to have passion for it. If it's something you're passionate about, if there is some problem you're trying to solve, you know, it's a matter of character. I think for a lot of people, learning new things independently, it's something that is embedded in us. You're just in a go mood. You cannot give up until you achieve something. And you know, you either get discouraged and leave, you either have this character that if you try something and it doesn't work, you kind of, oh, well, I guess I'm not good at it, I'll do something else. You get depressed and like, you don't feel it's your thing. And there's another kind of people that if they cannot solve something, they become obsessed They go nuts, okay? And they just obsessed until they solve it. They cannot relax, okay? It depends on your character. I'm the kind that cannot relax. It's an absolute craziness, okay? There is nothing normal about it, okay? But the right way is to be somewhere in between. Don't get too discouraged and don't get too obsessed. Just be normal, stable human being. You know? And yeah, it's just a matter of how fast you want to get to your goals. First of all, have some goals. Okay, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to have a big house. I want to have a big car. I want to have a nice girlfriend. I want to do this. Make yourself a timeline of when you want to achieve these things, and based on this timeline, you know, try to work faster to get it to go. If you have this passion, if you have a plan, it's easier to achieve things in general, not just studying Python. Okay, I'll go down to the bottom of the comments because there's a whole bunch. How much math should one know before diving into machine learning, deep learning? Start with the concept, okay? We talked about it earlier. Start with the basic concept. Understand what a neural network is, okay? Understand what classification is, what regression is. Understand what deep learning is, machine learning is. Understand what reinforcement learning is, supervised, unsupervised. Learn these concepts, at least on the theoretical level with some real-life examples. You can find some of this data on my channel. I have a great playlist for it. And then dive into the math. If you have these basic concepts, the math will make more sense. And you'll be able to use examples from real life to kind of imagine what you're achieving with this math. If you don't have this basis and you start with math, you'll just get discouraged, like I was. It took me a year later, after I finished the course, I took a notebook, I took a pencil, and I did the whole algorithm by hand. I chose some very, very basic input, and I passed it through each and every layer of the algorithm until I got to the output. And then I took a Python notebook and I implemented the same thing but with code. And when both of these matched, only then I understood how the math relates to the concept themselves, okay? Yeah. Nice girlfriend looks cool. I agree. It's important to have a nice girlfriend. Learn faster. There is no quick win for learning how to program. It's a learn by doing field. You need to stick with it, code often, be comfortable with learning from failures. 100%. 100%. Badger is a very smart guy. Listen to him. Tina. There was a question here by Tina. Let's find the original question. I don't think I can find it. Tina. That's about the C++ question. Okay. The key difference is to consider is that C procedural and C++ is object oriented. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know it. I had no idea. Yeah. Android app or web app? You asked which language should you use? Okay, for Android, Java or Kotlin. Do not use Python. You can use Python. I have a great tutorial about it. Don't get me wrong, okay? But don't use Python for mobile development, okay? It's not meant for it. You can do it as a nice project for your family, for yourself, but it's not the language you use for that. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me. Web application. Python is amazing for web. Okay, there are pure Python frameworks that basically all you need is to write Python code and then the framework translates it into HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So if you don't have this background, use Streamlit, really, really good, or use TypePy, okay, which I also covered on the channel. Streamlit is coming soon, okay? Another option is to use Python on the back end of your website. So Python is the back end, but the front end is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That happens with Flask, it happens with Django, okay, and it happens with Fast API and many other frameworks that you'll see. Most frameworks are a combination of these languages. All these tutorials exist on the channel, so if you look at it's another playlist. Oh, is it here? It's here. Okay, videos, no. Playlists, yes. Okay, that's the web development playlist. Web development. And it's not here. Never mind, you're gonna find it. You're gonna find it. It's a very nice web scraping, web development. No, that's not it. Maybe in the next page. What? I'm pretty sure I missed it. Okay, it was somewhere. Parallel computing, data science, modules, project. Oh, whatever. I guess it's in the GUI. I guess it's in the GUI thing. You're gonna find a lot of web GUIs too. Sorry, guys. But yeah, you can, all these names I gave you, you can just type them and you'll find them in my videos. Oh, there you go, Flask, simple web app with Flask. We also have TypePy that I mentioned before. Another one here. So yeah, you'll find a whole bunch of them. Cool, 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 cool. There are jobs in all languages. Usually you'd see software dev roles or full stack or front end, back end roles. Rarely see Python dev role. Yeah, I've seen a few. I've seen a few people actually with a tagline in LinkedIn of Python developer, but I wouldn't focus on such a niche. Ooh, Tobbs is here. What's up, Tobbs? OS as one man is hard going, but start small. Get a file system working. Oh, somebody wants to build an operating system? Yikes, that's a tough one. That's a big project, okay? That's a creme de la creme of things you can build. Okay. Alexandru, do you think that incorporating tangent and normal vectors essentially act like a soft form of inductive bias? Dude, that's very, very big words. Very big and complex and scientific words. Encoding prior assumptions about surface geometry into the model. Dude, wrong person to ask. I need to translate your question to understand what on earth it means. Like separately, I understand what these concepts are, but how do I answer on something that complex? I don't know, you need to be a professor to pull it out of your head. I don't know, man, I don't know. Wrong address. Wrong address. The thing about machine learning, it's never about what I think. It's never about what you plan. It's always a matter of experimentation. Okay? Try using this tangent data set and see how it affects your model. The whole point about machine learning is that nobody can tell you in advance what is effective and what is not for the kind of data you're working with. So you start with data, and you, based on this data, you have a model, and then you develop it with different kinds of tools, different kinds of whatever, but it's case specific. If something works for a data set of MNIST images, it doesn't mean that it's going to work for a data set of CFAR images. You need to adjust yourself for the data, and the whole point is experimentation. Just try to do a few iterations, play with some hyperparameters, see how it works. But this is a very complex question to ask, you know, for a chatting stream, non-technical, okay? We're in a different vibe here, a completely different vibe. Sorry, man, sorry. Kotlin is actually the recommended path for Android, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so Java and Kotlin, they're very similar. They have a lot of similarities in between. And my uncle, he was like a mobile dev for a very long time. Android stuff, these are the two stuff he used. There was another one, I forgot the name of it. I always keep forgetting the name. Something with airplanes. I can't remember. Another one that was good. Okay, hi Tobbs, hello. I think I'll survive as a data analyst using only Python. Yeah, I think you'll be fine. Yeah, not a lot of people are using other languages when it comes to that. I know there's some old school folks still using Excel. And I always laugh, like, what kind of data can you use? Like, what kind of a model can you make with a software that has so much limitations in terms of like the size of data sets you can work with? I think they're limited for 4 gigabytes or 8 gigabytes, while the average data set that we use nowadays is like 10 gigabytes, probably even more. Why do you want these limitations? You know, I don't know why people still use Excel for that. How? Like, you get stuck. literally get stuck. Um, yeah, OS one-man development. Is it possible? Ah, that was the question. Yeah. Well, what usually people do is they take, that's why people use Linux. They take a Linux distribution and then they revise it. So they don't build it from scratch, right? It's a big project, like Tops told you earlier, right? It's a big project, okay? So usually you take a foundation that somebody else developed, if you're comfortable with Linux, and then you develop it further. You customize it to your needs. And that's how all these Linux distributions are happening. You know, it's just people took it upon themselves and they develop it. They have lots of fun and then they share it with the world. Yeah. Okay, AI-based OS using AI for kernel system calls. I don't know. What is IA? There is no kernel. You need to make your own. IA. Maybe you meant AI. Right, it's fast typing. Can't wait for your next revolutionary tutorials. Really heading out now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Paolo. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I don't know if it's revolutionary, but it will teach you some really complex stuff in simple terms, like NCP. That's what we're going to focus on in the next video. Question, input, enter your question. If question strip lower, what is the best YouTube channel to learn Python? Print. The best YouTube channel to learn Python is Python Simplified. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the code example. Awesome. OS is over kernel using Linux kernel. I don't know what it means. Sorry, guys. I'm out. I just saw someone shove a JSON schema into an Excel file and they shared it as an Excel file. I was like, oh, that's abomination. That's what I call abomination. Yeah, that's abomination. It's like, why do you do it? You either use tabular data, you either use JSON data, okay? You don't shove it. You use either or. You can convert one to the other, but I don't know. Just misunderstanding of how data works. That's usually what it is. But people do some creative stuff when they don't understand what they're doing. Like, I'm a good example of it. I've done a whole bunch of stuff with my MCP tutorial when I didn't know what to do. And in fact, the code that I have on GitHub is nowhere like the code that you will see in the tutorial. Okay, you're shooting in the dark and you don't understand what you're doing. And it happens a lot, like more than you think. What free options are available to try and test AI for people with old computer limitations? There's a lot, actually. You just load. Why am I holding this? You just load a very small model. Okay. So my recommendation: go and check Ollama. Okay. It is a model. Like it offers a whole bunch of models, and it helps you run models locally. So if you go to ollama.com, it's going to be in my tutorial next. Ooh, can't see anything, okay? And you download it, whatnot, whatever you need. Very simple download command, okay? I recommend downloading for Linux, okay? Putting it on your Linux with WSL. It works a bit smoother on my end. If you go to models, you'll find a whole bunch of models here, okay? Now, this JAMA thing, I hope I pronounced it properly. This model comes in a very big version of 27 billion parameters and also in a very small version of 1 billion parameters. So yeah, the 1 billion parameters model is probably going to be a bit more stupid, like a lot more stupid, but then it runs on systems that don't have a GPU at all. It runs on CPU. If you try it on your end, it's going to work. I guarantee. Okay, just go for models that are not huge, okay? They do not require a lot of RAM to run. And this is the thing you need the most, okay? RAM or VRAM. You have to have enough to make these models run because they do a lot of calculations in parallel and they do a lot of calculations in RAM. And that's why they get stuck. If you use a bigger model than your computer can handle, it's not going to work. So try Ollama and also quantization. I think Ollama's models come quantized, so that's why they're so easy to work with. Check it out. Check out Ollama. I think it's going to work on your end. And anything with 1 billion parameters should work on your system. I do have code for a bunch of Docker projects with the smaller kinds of models. I don't know, I think my limit is 1.5 billion parameters, not 1 billion, but it should work. Like if you go to my GitHub right now, GitHub, okay, and you look for my Quen project or voice chat, that's the one, okay? You'll find my voice chat application. There's a lot of instructions here. They show you how to load different models, and we have a whole live stream about this thing, okay? So if you go to voicechat.py, there you go. We are loading a 1.5 billion parameter model, and it's Quen 2, which is relatively old. That's not Quen 3. So I think this model will run on your system with no problem. So just clone this code, try to see if it works, and it should work on the older systems as well. Oh, Tobbs gave me a tip too. Thank you so much, Tobbs. Awesome. Great to see the live stream back, sharing your knowledge and humor. Thank you, Tobbs. Well, you're helping with the humor. You usually do. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you. Is Django still relevant in 2025? Of course. Of course. What? I think like Meta is using it right now, if I'm not mistaken. Like a lot of the major players are using Django. I've noticed a ton of entry-level openings for MERN. I don't even know what it is. And Java devs. But Django seems to be way less common. Just wondering if it's still a solid choice. You're not a Django developer. It's just one thing that you know in addition to all the other stuff you know. You're a web developer. You can say you're a web developer or a front end or a back end or full stack developer. But Django developer, nobody will advertise jobs for something like that. I don't think so. Maybe back in the day they did. But I just find it hard to believe that there's an employer who will take you just for your Django skills. I don't think it's an option. And not anymore. No. Oh my, I'm gonna have to integrate the MCP protocol at work soon. Okay, well, this video is coming up next. Yeah, well, actually, I have something really cool to share. Docker, this is for you, Badger, okay? Docker MCP catalog. Okay, we're gonna have a project on that too, okay? Docker MCP catalog. Check it out. No, that's not it. There was, is that it? No. There was like a whole article with all the MCPs that exist. A bunch of servers. I just share with you. What? Why can't I find it now? I found it before. I looked into it not too long ago. Announcing Docker catalog and toolkit. Okay, so where's the catalog? Hey! Why can't I find it? No! Okay, read the announcement. I swear, this catalog exists. I've been there. Here it is. No! It's not. Is it? Yes! I found it! Oh my God, we got it, we got it. So, you have a list of ready MCPs that you can put into your compose file, right, as different services, and you can hook them up, okay? So you can fetch data from Slack, you can fetch data from Shopify, and from SQLite, and from whatnot, and these are ready servers, just plug them in and use them. Okay, check it out, Badger. I know you like Docker. I like him too, a lot. Now, the first video I'm gonna have on MCPs, we're not gonna use Docker. I don't think you can do it with Docker at this point. I don't know if the server is available on Docker. I saw that somebody uploaded it to Docker, but it's not the original, it's not the company who developed the server, okay? So we're gonna do the first one regular on the computer, not containerized. But then in my next project, I think we're gonna use a Docker one, okay? And we might use a few of them. We might combine them. Okay. Oh, Oliver, thank you so much for joining our members program that I absolutely neglected. So I'm sorry if I'm not there. My apologies, okay? I don't know how to run it. So back in the day, I would post a video once a month, and it was easy to post it, ahead of time. Now I'm trying to post videos every few days, so I don't have time to create, between the moment I create the video and I post it, there's maybe 5 minutes of a gap. Okay, so I don't have time to post it to members first. My apologies. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Oliver. I really appreciate joining the program. I see more fast API Flask than Django being used. I agree. It's a bit more intuitive. And fast API, that's what... It's so much like Flask, okay, GUI-wise, not API-wise. So if you're developing a GUI, essentially the only difference between Flask and Fast API is the name. Okay, everything else is the same. I was shocked, okay? But we're gonna have an API, how to make a simple API with Fast API video. I'm also working on it. It's one of those projects I'm working on simultaneously. Yep. Okay, do you need to host MCP servers to use them if you want to have your own? You can create your own custom MCP server. Actually, I have some code to create it, okay? That's not gonna be in the tutorial, okay? It may look like it's gonna be in my tutorial, but it won't. So right now, I have a project where I ask you specifically not to look. Okay, simple MCP app, you see? Hold on, where it is? Okay, please do not look. Troubleshooting. Okay, so the way to create your own MCP server, a local one, is like that. Most of the time, you will find people using the official Python, MCP SDK. It did not work on my system. Doesn't matter how many times I tried. Okay, even though this fast MCP that I'm import fast MCP, it was actually officially embedded into the MCP module. The only way I can run it is if I use it from the original module. I don't know what is wrong with my system. I don't know what messed up stuff happened in it, but that's the result. So if you're looking for a good example of an MCP server that works on pretty much most of the systems, and I'm talking WSL, of course, because we're talking about servers, it's a bit more traditional to use with Linux. Use this thing and maybe just get rid of the proxy stuff because I was trying to incorporate Bright Data proxies in it. And yeah, that's how you create an MCP server. And then to load information from this server, I have a client right over here using also the fast MCP client. Again, the official Pythonic way that is the official suggestion by Python doesn't work on my system. It works on many other systems, not on mine. So this is a good way to implement it. So it will give you a nice, I guess, a very nice introduction also to Streamlit. There you go. And I'm using Ollama as well. You can see it on the server side, which is one of the things that I didn't understand well when it comes to MCPs. I thought that the model produces response on the server side, but it's actually not the case. It produces a response on the client side. That was one of my main confusions. So thank you, ChatGPT and Grok, for affirming my wrong conclusions. So yeah, I blame them. Ooh, Jonathan is here. What's up, Jonathan? He has a really nice channel on YouTube. Check him out, Pixel Reconstruct. If you like 3D stuff and Gaussian splattering, yeah, check him out. I love the new video publishing cadence. Oh, that's fancy words, man. But yeah, I'm trying to do it very, very quickly, because you know what? It's one of the things we talked about with Alex from ticker symbol U. You remember when we were sitting down at the keynote right before Jensen came out, and I was like complaining that my new videos, they don't get as much new views as my old ones. And we're talking about with Alex, and I told him, and he asked me like, how often do you upload a video? And I told him once a month. He's like, oh, yeah, that's why. Okay, you need to upload videos every couple of days, and then your views don't disappear. The algorithm still likes you, and that's why I'm doing it much more often. Yeah, that's the story behind it. Okay, listening to experts. Yeah, is kiwi still recommended in 2025? When was it not recommended? There's no such thing as recommended or not. Use whatever you like. Don't listen to others who tell you that, oh, this is so outdated. Nobody's using it anymore. You know what? That's the whole thing about programming. People are saying that PHP is about to die for the past few decades. Okay, PHP is not dead. So people will tell you a whole bunch of stuff. They'll try to convince you of things. They have their own agendas. They have their own interests. They have their own preference. Let them use what they want, and you use what you want. I don't know. What a rant. Okay. Which system do you recommend to build an AI project? WSL. Because the reason is to access your GPU, what is recommended, anything that has to do with CUDA, just use WSL or Linux-based systems. Don't use Windows for that. You could, but it's not the recommended environment, let's say. I'm only here to see Maria. I don't like Python, but I like Maria. Good? Okay, good. Thank you, Max. Good. I don't know if it's good. Okay. Thank you, Max. Okay. Hi, it's super nerdy. Yeah. You're telling it to a channel named Python Simplified. Okay. There's nothing more nerdy than these type of stuff. Unless I was talking about snakes or something. In coding, how do you deal with the fact that learning more and still feeling like, oh, I don't know enough, and yourself knowing, oh, I know a lot, but looking around, same feeling again? Well, you'll have it everywhere, not just with programming, I would say. Anything you do in life, and it kind of depends on you. In order to gain confidence, you need experience. And if you don't have experience, you don't have confidence. But if you've done something enough times, you know for a fact that you can trust yourself. So keep doing, keep pushing. Eventually you will have this confidence. Like, you need to hear me, you need to see me talking to people about, even when it comes to YouTube channels and stuff. You think I made it? No. There's always going to be somebody who has more subscribers and more viewers, and they're getting more sponsorship deals. There's always going to be people like that. You will always be jealous, and it will always push you forward, right? The most important part is compare yourself to yourself. Just be better than what you were yesterday, and make this your kind of a goalpost. Don't look at what other people do and try to compete with them. It's not worth it. Let them do what they do. You do your own thing, and confidence will come with time. It's inevitable. You'll get there. Just do the same thing enough times, or similar things enough times, and you'll be fine. Yeah. Coder, 3 a.m. thoughts. Yeah. The philosophical thoughts we have right before going to sleep. Ooh, we're like 2 hours in. Yikes. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna go in another 13 minutes. I told myself it's gonna be such a short stream. I didn't even notice how time went by. It's like I feel like my throat's about to disappear on me, like my voice is about to go. Also mixing in some basics. Yeah, I have 2 fronts I'm working on. I've done a nice poll the other day, and I asked how many people are looking for the complex stuff and how many people are looking for the beginner stuff. And the distribution is 2/3 compared to 1/3. 2/3 want the complex stuff and 1/3 the simple stuff. And that's exactly what I'll do. 1/3 of the work will go to the beginner stuff, and the other 2/3 will go to the complex stuff. The only problem is the complex stuff take time to study and to implement, okay? And sometimes you get stuck, like I was stuck for about a week. My throat is about to disappear. My voice. Shoot. Okay. I'm a senior lead engineer and still get that feeling. It happens. It ends up depending on who and what you do. Yeah, some people are just humble. Okay, don't forget. Some people are all about talking, and other people are all about doing. Okay, so if you did something, if you proved yourself that you can do it, that's amazing. You get some confidence. But other people like to talk about what they're gonna do and how smart they are, and look at me, and oh my God, I'm so smart. But then when it comes to doing something, they can't. Okay, it depends on your character too. Surround yourself with smart people. You end up learning a lot in a short time span, but you get imposter syndrome as well, as if you're not meeting expectations. Yeah, it's a good way to push yourself further. When you have friends who are constantly smarter and better than you always want to prove them, you know what, I'm also just as good as you. Just give me a chance. I'm going to do it now, okay? It's a good technique. Sorry, I have to drink something. You end up finding out that people you thought were super, super smart, they too get the same feeling, just winging it. Yeah, like I said, fake it till you make it, okay? That's helpful. Thanks for the thoughts. Yeah, absolutely. Badger is awesome. The future of employment and work for programmers seem to be unclear. Should we still recommend becoming programmer to beginners? It's a complex topic, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because you use AI to enhance yourself. You're not supposed to use it to learn new things, okay? You're not supposed to delegate everything to it blindly. You're supposed to delegate the stuff that require a lot of time on your end, but they're so basic that you don't need to type them all over again. So for example, you're looking to build a website. You can ask Grok to build you a website, you can ask ChatGPT to build you a website, but you would still have to go through and make sure that he didn't put a bunch of stupid stuff in your site. You need to go through line by line and clear out some silly code, because there will always be some silly code in there, and you need to make sure that you can spot a mistake. Okay, I think using AI to learn new things is the worst thing you can do, and I've done it before, that's why I know you should not do it, okay? Because you don't know when it makes a guess and when it talks about factual information. And very often it will agree with you and it will tell you that's right, you understood it correctly, but that's not true. You don't know the type of stuff that the AI doesn't know, okay? That's why you ask it. You only reaffirm things that you already learned with AI. And when you're programming, there's so many things where AI is just it's incapable of doing. When it doesn't have the ability to execute the code on its end. And it is also not updated in real time. It has information that was relevant to a year ago. Like if you ask AI right now about Python simplified, why is Python simplified? It will tell you, oh, she has this and this number of followers as of today, June 2023. Okay, so it is not obviously, it's not June 2023, but that's the last time that AI was trained, you know, and in something that has to do with my channel. And you don't know how outdated it is. You need to really question it. Very often I would find it giving me some, it gives me an app and it tells me in order to run this app, you need to install these and these libraries. But half of these libraries, they don't exist in the app. It's just copying code from blogs and it slightly adjusts them. Like you cannot use it as a replacement to a programmer, to a software developer. It's just not gonna work. And besides programming and coding, you're doing so many things as a developer. You're solving problems. That's your main goal here, okay? Solving problems, finding tangible solutions that you can scale up, and you can develop further. And it's not something that AI can do for you. It's something that AI can help you achieve, but it's an enhancement, like a calculator is an enhancement. I don't see how a company can replace a mid-level to senior engineer with AI, even in the state that we will have in like a year or so. I do see how they can replace a junior developer. And this is my main concern, okay? When I learned in university, I got to work on a few projects with actual junior developers, folks who didn't have any experience with programming before they started their degree. I don't think they're ready. And I don't think there's any difference between them and AI. They don't have experience. They have theory, which is something that AI has, but they have zero experience. That's a problem. in order to gain experience, they need to be hired into a, developer company, and a senior developer and mid-level developer needs to, they need to shadow these developers to actually learn, the vital stuff that the business needs them to do. And every business needs to do something else. I don't know for how much longer junior developers will be making good salaries in tech, okay? I think at a certain point, the entry-level jobs, entry-level, I banged my finger, yikes. The entry-level jobs that require you to have a Bachelor of Science, in computer science, that's considered entry, okay? These will not be very high-paid jobs. This is my prognosis for the future. These will be very basic salary kind of jobs. And then after it, once you actually have the skills, once you develop in the same company, they will give you a promotion, they'll give you proper salaries. But I think the salaries, especially with things that have to do with web development, they may go down a little bit. I'm not sure, okay? That's my prognosis. I could be wrong, okay? Let me know what you guys think. But we gotta go, so I don't have time to read what you guys think. I gotta go. I can't talk. I can barely talk. Okay, 8 gigabytes of RTX 4060, 16 gigabytes RAM, DDR4. Is it okay? Or i7 with the same specs? Okay for what? Everything's okay. Everything's okay. And i9, which generation of i9? There are so many generations to processors. Like, it's not just one. Great stream. Look forward to more. Awesome. Thank you so much, Rick. Thanks for chatting. Working for 4.5 years as a data engineer. Now I have finally agreed. Best way to learn new things is to do via project, not via theory. Is that correct? I learned a whole PySpark just via doing a project. Yeah, I agree. It took less time. Yeah, 100%. Some people learn by example. Some people, no matter how much theory you got to throw at them, they just, no, let me see how it works. This is me. I need to see how the code works. I need to look at all the lines. I need to know how it connects. I need to make a few print statements, to some debugging stuff, and then I understand how it works. That was my problem with this MCP project. There's a lot of theory on it, but I need to see an implementation that can run on my system. And by the time I found this solution that I found eventually, which I'll share with you very soon, it took a lot of troubleshooting. Watch Maria to learn new things. No AI. Yeah, you can watch, like, you can use AI as well. I'm sure it will help you. Help you decipher some of the silly things I say once in a while. Learning by theory, you'll forget it. Yeah. Applying, doing something with it, you'll retain much better. Exactly. You can't replace experience. Yeah. 100%. I'm curious about your ML project you mentioned on X. I guess it's related to exercise. I only have 2 entries. Today I'm going to have a 3rd entry. So it's not enough data to do something about it. But I want to encourage people to work out. Because I know a lot of people, I started to gain weight. Not a lot of people noticed, but the Russian-speaking viewers did notice. And, it's in our culture, it's not rude to tell somebody that you're gaining some weight. It's actually a motivational thing to make them avoid gaining weight. It's like, we notice. You think we don't notice, but we do notice, okay? And a lot of people told me, like, I complained about it to my friends, and they were like, well, it's just hormones. Sometimes it's age, sometimes it's hormones. There's nothing you can do about it. But guess what? There is. You can start working out. You can start living a healthier lifestyle, consuming healthier food, it's very good for the brain to work out once in a while, okay? So I'm trying to encourage people from getting up from their couch and start running or start doing some exercises and kind of make it more fun. Because when you collect this data and then you use it in a project, I don't know, it's a bit more interactive, I think. So the idea is you're plugging in your height, you're plugging in your current weight, and then you're plugging in the weight that you want to be in, the desired weight. And then this app, which will be based on my data only, unfortunately, at least at first. And then the app will calculate how long it would take you, okay, how many days you'll need to practice a week, with which elevation, with which speed, and so on and so on. Now, the fun part is if you guys plug in your data along with my data, but I need to find a way of doing it properly. Okay, unless you are a data crunching, save the money and get the i7. It depends on the person you are. Like, I would never get an i7. I always get the creme de la creme, because new things are coming out all the time. And it's the more compute you have, the happier you'll be for a longer period of time. That's how I see it. If you get something that you're not 100% happy with, in a year or two, you would want to replace it, right? And I'm a serial replacer, okay? I'm surprised I still have a 40 series graphics card in here, okay? I fell asleep during the watch. That's what happened. I shouldn't have. Okay, guys, I gotta go very, very soon. Yeah, okay, what do we have? Do you use green screen? We get one tutorial of how to integrate green screen properly. Dude, okay, I'll show you. Okay, let's see. So, to your question, whether I use green screen or not, what do you think? Okay, to your question of how to incorporate green screen, I'm going to answer right now. I'll remove it. Check it out. Inside OBS Studio, okay, let's say you have a green screen right now. Just going to put it here. Let's say you have a green screen right now and it's here under ZV1 USB. You click on it. Oh, it's not here, sorry. I confused you. You click on filters, okay? You have a chroma key, you click on plus, and you have a chroma key filter, okay? And that's it. That's all you need to do. It automatically calculates the green screen. Now, if you want to record it in a green screen and then remove it later, like if it's not a live stream or something, you can remove it from Premiere. But the effect you're looking for is chroma key, okay? Hope it helps. Okay, what else? What else we have here? Suggest a system that start to work with, which I can set up without any lags. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. Get whatever it is that suits what you're trying to do with it. If you're trying to game, get a good graphics card. If you're trying to do some multi-threading and stuff like that, get a fancy processor. Whatever you need. Or just get a pre-built system. It's a good solution. So there is no giant blue cat, unfortunately. Not yet, not yet. There's only a small white and gray cat. Well, it's I don't know if it's small. I may have given you the wrong impression. It's very big, but it's smaller than this guy. But yeah, there is no Alice in Wonderland. What is it? Cheshire cat? Cheshire? I can't remember. Cheshire cat. There's no way I can pronounce it, anyways. But yeah. It's all an illusion, Tobbs. It's all magic. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for joining this stream. It's been 2 hours and a half. I was counting on 1 hour and a half. And as usual, here we are. Thank you so much for joining. I will see you very soon in some awesome projects. And I'll try to stream way more often, especially now that I paid for it. Okay, the Jewish me will not let me not stream. Okay, so count on that. I'll be here all the time. And yeah, every time I will try to do some interesting streams. I want to do thank you so much, Tops. Thanks for joining. I know it's getting pretty late where you are, so thanks for being here. Yeah. Oh, and I need to call my mom. I forgot I need to call her. I think she's already asleep. Okay, thank you for joining me. I will see you soon in awesome tutorials. I really appreciate your support. See you soon. Thank you so much. And bye-bye. Where is the button? End stream. Bye-bye. I didn't end it yet. No. End stream.